James is calling from Angel. Good morning, James.
Good morning.
Good morning. Are you happy that tomorrow is a day when there's a significant easing of lockdown?
Well, I think that there should be an easing of lockdown. I also think that we shouldn't have gone into it so quickly, which is why I'm a little disappointed with you. Yes, I'm a little disappointed with you kind of like 2 months ago saying we should go in straight away, because the difficulty is getting out, not getting in.
I do understand, James. I do understand that argument. You know, give governments powers. Give governments powers. Getting them back is difficult. My rationale, James, was this. My rationale was we were up against something we didn't know, up against something we didn't understand, and I've been reporting here on LBC every day what was happening in northern Italy. And it was clear to me we were 2.5 weeks behind Italy, and I thought we should do something. And I would come back to you, James, and say this, that if we locked down 4 days earlier, the infection rate would have been half what it was.
Well, I mean, you don't know that. And what I...
Well, I do. Actually, I do. I do, because it was actually doubling. You know, the infection rate was doubling every 3 to 4 days at that moment in time.
What I wanted to ask you, talked about, is the model. You cited Niall Ferguson's model of the 500,000 deaths. Now,
I didn't say I agreed with it. I just said that's what the model was.
Yes, and one of my jobs has been to put financial models into financial systems for a long time. If I put that model into a system and we used it to price a trade even worth £100,000, I would lose my job. It is that bad. It is that bad.
James, let me ask you something, all right?
Mm-hmm.
If we'd not bothered with lockdown at all, if we'd not introduced social distancing, if we'd not emphasised to people that hands are the way that this thing gets spread more than any other, if we'd just done nothing, the official death figures are currently 38,000. What do you think they would have been?
I think that the important thing is, when you say hand washing is so... No, please. We have an official death toll of 38,000. We have excess deaths in this country of 60,000. Now, arguably, quite a lot of those 60,000 wouldn't have died if we hadn't, perhaps, as you see it, over-panicked. And I get that too. But whichever way you cut this, I'm saying to you, had we done nothing, what do you think that 38,000 figure would be? I'm not suggesting we do nothing, though, am I?
Well, you said at the start of this conversation that we went into lockdown too early.
Yes, but so I think that the hysteria of a lockdown distracted from the true problem, which is isolating people in care homes and the vulnerable. And now we've got ourselves in this terrible mess, and people worrying about PPE and ventilators, and everybody's going on TV going all Piers Morgan about lockdown. Then get in straight away. And the media, of which we're now part of, or the politician, was after a scalp. They pushed us into this. And what we needed to do was a little less lockdown, a little more protecting people in old people's homes. But the whole thing got,
Right, so what you're saying, James, is we should have prioritised and we should have attempted to lock down the vulnerable, not the rest of the community.
And the prioritisation on lockdown, one of the reasons was that model, and that model is not reliable, to put it politely.
No, sure, and in the case of Professor Ferguson, one would argue through the last couple of decades that many of his models weren't. So, James, where do we go from here?
Well, I think that we have to have a slow release of lockdown, and we have to keep, you pick the people who are vulnerable, you keep them in the care homes, and you essentially have to release the rest of the country. That is what we have to do.
All right, thank you, James. Thank you. Mary Anisha says, Nigel, I'm a great supporter, but this time regarding Cummings, I don't agree. People were flouting lockdown before the Cummings debacle. Yes, they were, Mary, but the pace of it has increased since, and that's what I've seen for myself.
We will make America great again.